Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, something I've been doing for a while, but I don't know why I've never got round to showing you how I do it. I've seen a few other very cool people doing it recently, and I thought I'll show you how I do it. Now, it's nothing bizarre. What I'm going to show you today is how to use ammonia gas to be able to force patina, copper and brass EDC items. Some of the things I'll show you today are very simple to do. All you need to do is have a can-do attitude and a few household products that aren't particularly difficult to find. There's a little science behind it, so maybe I'll be able to educate you on the science, keep it interesting, I don't know. But what I have, and I've recently done a review on, hopefully you've just watched that. I should have kept it closer to me on camera, really shouldn't I? Is a copper Axwell wallet. Now, I've already started to get a bit of a patina on here from when I hold it to get my cards out. The natural oils on my skin will start to patina this. But what I want to do is using ammonia gas is to be able to force a patina on. Now, this is something that would normally take years and years and years to be able to get. And there's a specific chemical reaction between ammonia gas and copper that forces this really beautiful blue and green tinges out in it. Now, you can also do this with brass. So brass is made up from copper and other elements. But what you'll find is if you do it with brass, you'll get a similar effect, but you might need to do it for slightly longer. Or you might find that it just has a different colour or different tinge to the effect because of the zinc and some of the other elements that are in there that are with copper. But because because brass is a copper derivative, then it will still work exactly the same if you, well, as I've just mentioned, you know, it may have some differences, but because it still uses copper within that that metal, you'll be able to use this same process. Now, there are some things that I'll show you in here that don't actually help the process. If anything, they hinder the process. But in hindering the process, it gives you a really nice kind of sway between different bits. Now, I'll put some video footage up here. So this is a Zippo lighter that I've used this on, and I've used some of these other elements, which again we'll have a look at in a moment. I've used some of these other elements to make this look patchy. The reason I make it look patchy on here is this is, a lot of people refer to this as a shipwreck patina. Also, you can see on the nook that I have here as well, this has done it even really nice on this. This is a brass nook, so rather than doing it on copper, you'll be able to see there are just some different colour variations in there. There's also some darkness that the mustard left on there as well, which I think looks really nice. But yes, so you're probably waiting through all of this. Let's just turn the camera around and we'll take a closer look on how you can do this. Now, if you do find this enjoying or entertaining or you appreciate this, then please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. That would be amazing. If you love to buy me a pint, then have a look below the screen just here and you'll be able to see that there is a new thank you button. But for now, let's take a closer look on how to do a patina, forced patina, using ammonia gas on some copper. Okay, so hopefully not too science lesson-y, but I'm just going to take this apart. So hopefully you've already seen, you know, these parts here, these are made from aluminium, so you don't need to worry too much about those. This is made from copper, made from copper billets. First thing that I always suggest is making sure that they are nice and clean. So while I'm cleaning these with some acetone, which nail varnish remover, if you've got some nail varnish remover, works exactly the same. In fact, this is nail varnish remover that I've borrowed from Mrs. Moorlander, and I'm just making sure that these are perfectly clean. The reason that I'm doing this, and I suppose the reason why I'll tell you while I'm doing this, is because copper reacts to ammonia gas. Now, you can't really go into somewhere unless you're a scientist or something and just say, hey, do you happen to have some ammonia gas that I could buy, please? It's not exactly the easiest thing to go out and purchase. But there's a lot of cleaning products out there that do have an ammonia solution in them. So my local high street, I picked this up. This is household ammonia. Now on here, where does it say? It should say on here, I think this is like a 3% household ammonia. So this is a 9 to a 5% solution. So the vast majority of this is water, but inside the water, 5 to 9% roughly of that water is gas. Now the reason that I know this is, as soon as I take this off, oh gee, wow, okay, and have a smell, is I can smell the ammonia gas. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that these are as clean as possible to make sure that the ammonia gas can touch everything. If you don't clean it first, you've got dirty hands, you've got oil on your hands, you've got anything like that, what it will do is it will prevent that gas from being able to touch it, if that makes sense. But then saying that, some of the things that I'm going to show you today how to do is I want the gas not to touch it. Now the way in which I do it is I have one of these little beakers. You can pick these up from pretty much anywhere. You can put, I don't know, I used to put baby stuff in here. I think it was powder that we used to have. And then all I've done is I've got, and this is how I use mine, is I've got a wire coat hanger that I heated on one end and then pushed through onto there. So when I'm doing other stuff, what I can do is I can put these, sorry I'm just doing this off camera, just noticed that, is I can put that in there, and then whatever I'm suspending in here, I can suspend with that little hanger. But for this today, I've had to do a bit of a job to move some of that around. But then in the bottom of here, here's just a piece of kitchen cloth, tissue, you know, whatever you call it in the part of the world that you're in. Put it so it lies flat on the bottom like that. Take some of my ammonia solution. You really don't need a lot, mainly because it's the gas. It really is the gas that comes off it. So all I've done is poured in there, ooh, I can smell it already, is less than a teaspoon. And that will create a vapor chamber within there. Now I'm just going to put that to one side for a second. So this is what I mentioned before around, you may see other people say, get yourself some mustard. And I say, get yourself some mustard, mainly because it adds a nice effect. I'll definitely say, if you are going to grab some mustard, make sure you grab English mustard. Now this isn't a patriotic, we're better than everyone else. The US mustard, I guess Canadian mustard might possibly be the same, but it doesn't have as much mustard, it doesn't have as much vinegar in there. You can also try French mustard like Dijon and whole grain, all that sort of stuff. Again, they don't have as high amounts as mustard and vinegar and some of the other things that are in there that you get with English mustard. So if you want the best possible reaction, I'd say use English mustard. The other one, okay, so unfortunately I couldn't find any. I thought I got some, but grab something that is an oil. Now I know I've just said clean the oil off of here, but the reason will become clear. So, well, I mean today I'm using coconut oil, but I've never used this before, mainly because I usually use Vaseline, and for some strange reason I can't find the Vaseline. But if it's an oil, then when you put oil onto this and you put a thick amount of oil onto this, then that is going to create patches where, because there is an airlock that the oil seal makes, it will make sure that the gas, the ammonia gas, doesn't get to that section, so you can have really nice patchy sections. The other thing, again, which you'll see some people recommend, is to use some salt. Whether it's your finest Himalayan pink salt, it doesn't matter. use salt, use sugar, use coffee grains, use baked beans, it doesn't matter. Salt has no chemical reaction with copper, absolutely none whatsoever. But by putting salt on into different sections adds a grainy effect, and that's the only thing that salt does. So if you don't put salt on here, it certainly won't matter. And to show this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ship wash, or what people call a ship wash effect on the front. But on the underside, as this has already just been cleaned, we can use the underside here as a test to show you what it would be if you didn't do any of these effects on the outside. Now, if you do any of this, it can 100% be undone. The reaction between the ammonia gas and the copper is purely surface level. So all of the atoms on the top of the copper will have this effect on them, but if you wanted to take it off, you can just wash it. You need to use something like Brasso. Brasso will help to neutralize that effect, and it will take it off as well. So these are all perfectly cleaned. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some mustard, and I'm just going to just dab it on. This really is all that I'm going to do with that. Damn. Woo. Woo. Yes, always use English mustard. What this is going to do is, so there's certain elements in the mustard itself, it's made up with certain parts of vinegar. This will now start to corrode and burn, kind of as a chemical reaction underneath. It's not going to make this force patina in those areas go any faster. It's just going to give a different effect in those areas. Similarly, if I get some of this, and again just touch this on round the edges, this again is not going to have any effect on the actual patinaing process itself, because it's doing nothing. If anything, the only effect that it has is hindering the actual process itself, because it's stopping the gas from being able to make contact with it. Just to prove whether salt works or not, I'll slap on some salt. It definitely doesn't work, but again, when I tap some of this off, some of it will stay on there, and again, it just leaves a kind of granular effect. But that granular effect will just leave different textures on there rather than it actually doing anything. So if I just bring these up, so there's one. It's got some of my finger marks on there from the mustard. Same on here. What I might do is just smush some of this around as well. Again, it's not really going to do anything other than just stop the process from happening. And then what we do is unscrew. Yep. So that's definitely strong. And I'm going to hang them. Woo! Is I'm going to hang them with this. So this coat hanger, I'm just going to push through and then bend. So that way we have a little lip here. And that lip will mean that I can put, if I do this correctly, so I can put one there and one there, give it a turn, so they will now hang. Jeez, that stinks. That's what she said. So now I can screw that on there, and my copper is now suspended within the solution that's in there. Now, I don't know if you can pick this up, but if you look in there, can you see that the mustard is starting to turn blue? That's because the chemical reaction between the gas that's coming out from the solution is already starting to affect the copper that's in there, and it's already starting to have some effect. Now what I'll do is I'll leave that for 24 hours and then we'll come back to this and we'll show you exactly how it looks. It is officially the next day. Now during the evening I had to do an extra step, which is something that I probably should have mentioned yesterday. So what's also useful to do is if you've got any Scotch-Brite or even like a very, very light sandpaper, like a 2000 or a 3000 grit, anything that's quite high like that, is just to give it a rub like that. It just makes sure that the chemical process has as much new copper to react to. Now in there, if you can see all of the blue in the bottom, so that, oh geez, that is the liquid that runs off it. Now I'm going to hold this like this and hopefully you can see how disgusting and horrible that looks. So all of the blue on there, that's the mustard. That's what colour the mustard turns, and it's pretty much the same on the other side. Now what I'll do is I'll just pause it here and I'll go and clean this, because you will need to give this just a bit of a rub just to get all of this stuff off, but when it's done, that's where the magic really comes through. Okay, I think this is one of the nicest ones that I've done. Generally it's pure accident because you just smush things around. Let me stop talking. Okay, this looks really cool. Get this in focus. I hope this looks. So here you can see, so the green is where the ammonia has actually started to change the colour on it. This area up here where it still looks like the original copper, so that's where my thumb smudged on there with the oil on it, and it stopped it. So it's pure, just beautiful copper underneath there. And then these other darker bits are where the mustard has a different effect. It almost burns it. But on the back, look at that. The different colours of the copper here around the sides. So this is where I put more of the oil around the sides. Again, the oil doesn't actually do anything. All the oil does is create an air barrier between the copper and the ammonia gas, so it stops it from having an effect. And then here again you can see through these swirls you have the blue and the greens in there, but the dark points between them, that's where the mustard has had some effect. Again, I'm just going to spin this back round again. Hopefully get this in the light, but you can see as it turns through the different light, you get different kind of shades and different hues. This is awesome. Now again, you know, just to kind of show you some of the other things that I've done in the past, when you compare it to the different lighters and things that I've done, these are brass, so you do get a different kind of colour from these, whereas this one is made from copper. But yes, so ridiculously happy with this, and I think the copper scales on the green wallet looks absolutely amazing. Now what I would say is this will continue to patina, and that's because, you know, you lick it and I mean, obviously you wouldn't lick it, but I mean, if you want to lick it, feel free. But the oils from your skins, they will continue to change the patina on here. This bit here where, you know, the oil stopped the ammonia gas from doing anything to it, eventually, you know, my fingers will get on there and it will start to mark it and it will get its own patina, and this will continue. Now, as I mentioned as well, so the patina on this is only that top layer of molecules on the copper. If you were to put this in your pocket and it were to scratch against a knife or something like that, you will find that you'll get scratches in it. It's a very light patina, but it does mean that if you did it and went, oh, that's horrible, I want to start again, then don't do a shipwreck one where I put all weird little bits on it, then just do it so it's a pure clean one. Get some Brasso, clean it off, and it will look brand new. Now, I've spoken to Joel about this, and what we're going to do is going to do a giveaway. So, I will draw a random person on December the 4th. I think December the 4th is a Sunday, so whatever it is, I'll put it here. All you need to do is comment below which colour I Axwell wallet you would like. So there's all of the different colours: orange, blue, black, green. Or if you like one of the copper ones and you'd like to try this yourself, all you have to do is comment below which of the colours that you would like, and then you also need to just make sure that you're subscribed here to Moorlander EDC on YouTube, and also follow myself and Axwell Wallets on Instagram, mainly because when Joel sends one of these out to you, we'd like to actually see yours. If you do go for the copper one so that you can do your own patina like I've shown you how to do here, I would definitely like to see how it turns out. So the rules are, there's 3 rules. You need to be subscribed to Moorlander EDC here on YouTube. Also follow myself and Axwell Wallets on Instagram, and then comment below which colour version of the wallet you would like, and then on December the 4th I will choose a winner at random. And there you go. So I'll leave more links for this. I'll leave some of my social media links as well, but for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Kind of realise this is where I need to get better lighting indoors. I don't have anywhere that I can film indoors apart from upstairs in my bedroom, which is, but it's not got the best lighting, so I don't think the lighting was particularly good yesterday, which is a real shame. So, but hopefully I can get it out in post-processing. Right, but let's carry on with it. It is officially the